Now, this is something for us to keep in mind about some of the things that we do. There's a fantastic book called The Black Swan. And Black Swan, the concept of Black Swan, there was a time when people had known, humans had only known swan that was white in color. Remember the shock of imagine the shock of the guy, the first guy who ran across a black swan. It's like, what's that, right? And so in technology, a black swan is an event or an organization that you never ever thought about. And Google is a great example of a black swan. They never saw it coming. And everybody uses Google today. I have a really good friend, I was visiting. He's got a 4-year daughter, sweet little girl. And I was talking to her. She was shy for the first few minutes. After a little bit, she got used to me being there. We were having a good conversation. And suddenly she says something, and I said, "Are you sure about this?" And then she said, "Oh, I'm absolutely sure about it." And her mom said, "Sweetie, how are you so sure about it?" And then in her sweet voice, she says, "Because I Googled for it." I just melted, right? So even a 4-year-old knows about Google, right? That's a black swan. And several other things that are black swans that we never ever, there are bad black swans as well, events that are tragedy events, but we never saw that coming. I won't go into those details, but there are some really great organizations that are black swans. Google is a great example, like I mentioned. Apple, for example, right? If you were in the field 20 years ago, did you think about Apple being where it is today? These are black swans. And same on the technology front, there are a great amount of black swans. Well, the point about black swan is you can never ever predict them coming. However, my question is this: what do you do when you do see a black swan? How do you respond to it? I know organizations that have been completely taken over by their competition. They never saw this coming. But the question is, when they got beaten down, how long do they take to get up? And a lot of these companies could not get up after 7 years, 8 years. Because the way they did their things just did not allow them to respond to these changes. So you can never anticipate black swan, but how do you respond to it when you do see one? How do you face that? And several of us have to deal with the biggest threat are the outliers. Now, one of the things you notice often is people who are doing regular stuff, but the outliers do things very differently. And they think differently, they act differently, they respond differently. And so the outliers, not only people who are outliers, but organizations that are outliers, but also technologies that end up being here too. So one of the things we need to keep in mind is to watch out for these outliers, because the outliers are the ones that are going to change the world around us as we go through. And we need to be also very aware of the disruptive technologies, because when disruptive technologies emerge, it gives a great amount of advantage to those who adapt to it. And you don't want to be on the other side of the competition when your competition adapts to these disruptive technologies.